Okay, guys, the ones who are still having some drinks and eating some snacks, I ask you to come back as we have a special guest for our final presentation tonight. Let me introduce a person from one of the biggest football leagues in the world. Let's meet Jose Carlos Loaiza, speaking on LaLiga Clubs Office, a strategic development. Welcome, bienvenidos, Jose.
Achu, Chorunas. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Achu. I hope I say it properly. I'm really happy to be here. First time I came to Lithuania was 10 years ago, I think. So a long time I didn't visit the city, and I'm really happy to be here again. Also, congrats to the team that managed all the event. It's amazing, and congrats, because I know it's really difficult to manage this kind of thing. So really, really happy for you guys, and thank you for the invitation. Before I start, I would like to ask you, who watch La Liga in a weekend basis? Okay, nice. People who didn't say yes, you will do it after this, I hope. Now, really being humble, I was speaking with Sharunas before. We try to be everywhere. Of course, La Liga sounds big, but we have problems, like every competition, every league, every federation. And not so long ago, we didn't have the audiovisual rights centralized. The clubs were working, independently. We had debt, match fixing, many things. And our current president arrived. He changed the system. It's not easy, but you have to work really hard. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit our path, and also how we are working now with the clubs to keep, growing up and being on the top. So La Liga, we are the association of the 20 clubs in the first division and the 22 in the second division. So we have 42 bosses, 42 companies, clubs calling us every day, because they get the money from the audiovisual rights, from commercial. The league manage the competition, the calendar, so they complain about the timings that they are playing. Oh, we are playing on Monday, so I'm going to complain, etc., etc. And also, we work for them to create business, to bring in sponsors and to distribute the money. And I think this is a good option to watch a video, so to explain a little bit more about the competition. So let's play the video.
Do you want to live the ultimate football show? Join us. We are La Liga, a global leader in football entertainment, committed to offering the most innovative experience to millions of fans all over the planet. And we certainly do, don't you think? You're probably wondering how we've come so far. Well, let's take a little journey in time. From the days of Di Stefano and Kubala, we've always had the best football, the biggest stars, and the certainty that their stories deserve to be told in the most impressive way, using the most modern and innovative tools. This has been an exciting journey for us. Thanks to our continuous focus on match production technology, we're changing football from a sporting event into a groundbreaking audio-visual experience, enjoyed by millions around the world. This is La Liga, the ultimate football show. And the best is yet to come.
At the end, we believe we are building the greatest ecosystem in football, working in many areas with the clubs in the center, but also working, around the competition, improving every day. With the experience, at the end, we are entertainment, and also with the popular culture. You can see now clubs distributing football shirts in a different way, making more content, and working in a different ways than 10 years before. We believe ourselves we are really a global competition. We have an international network around the world with offices and delegations. We are working really hard to be distributed in every country, so you can watch La Liga everywhere, growing in social media, and speaking different languages. So we try to be really global. Has been a huge effort. You can see here the map of the broadcaster, the global audience, all the digital audience and all the effort, and also the evolution from social media, different languages, so you can work with all the world and adapting to each part. Also, we are working with different leagues, federations, and companies to keep growing and keep growing football. And this is for real because we are in the Baltics. We signed an MOU with Maxims, with LaLiga a few years ago, renew the MOU this season. So we try to bring football, to another level and work close with our colleagues around the world. Why I was speaking about this kind of context, because the league has been working really hard for the last year. We have the economic control, the TV, pushing our clubs to work. And when you do things properly, investment firms are coming to you and trying to be part of the business. I think in the NBA, it's quite common in the United States, but in football, it was not that easy, that a private equity firm is coming to invest, or even at the league level. In the clubs, you can find some investment, but in the league, it was a little bit different. 3 years ago, LaLiga signed an agreement with CVC Capital Partners. It's an equity firm. For 2 billion euros, they bought a small package of shares of the company, and this money goes to the clubs. Why? Because LaLiga has been pushing a lot the competition to grow, and it's time to clubs to do the same, to grow, to reach new audience, to build new stadiums, to do different things. Also, we got COVID. Maybe you remember this period of time. It was a little bit tricky. No people in the stadiums, people at home, etc. So the situation was not so good. And La Liga signed this agreement. It was really first time in Europe that La Liga is signing something like that with an investment firm. And you saw Bundesliga tried, they didn't. Ligue 1 did, and you can see in the news, it's getting tricky. Serie A also tried, they didn't. Liga MX in Mexico, and so on. And why? To push the clubs to grow, to bring the growth of 20 years in 2-3 years now. And the most important is, if you give money to clubs, what they are going to do? They are going to go to the market, buy players, buy 10 Mbappés, paying fees, salaries, inflation. So La Liga said, okay, we are getting a huge amount of money, is going directly to the clubs, but we are going to put some criteria to use the funds. The money you can use 15% to add, the salary cap, to buy players, to use it for the transfer window. Also, you can use another 15% to cancel debt. COVID was hard, clubs were in debt. But the 70% that is left, you have to invest in development, corporate development, outside of the pitch. Infrastructure, digitalization, internationalization, the areas that you want, but you have to grow as a company. Avoiding the pitch. If you work in football or in basket, you understand that the pitch is really important, but you have to work as a company. And the most important is, we are a team inside La Liga helping them as a collective project to develop. We offer different services to them for free, and we have different lines of relationship. For example, we are doing events with them, workshops, different sessions. We have different services that we, as a league, offer to them, like branding, digital services, and so on. We negotiate with the brands to help the clubs to get a better price, with other collective projects like food and beverage, etc. Human resources, we created a talent pool where you can register, and the club, if they want to hire a professional, they can find profiles in this talent pool, and they start, hiring people and so on. The aim is to support them in creating new businesses and develop. And this was a little bit the evolution. At first year, of course, you know the clubs because you manage the competition, you know they are there, but you're not really deep in the club. You know they play football, they have some problems, but you don't know the real data about them. So the first year was really a foundation year. Like start talking to them, have one point entry in the club, creating the relationship and trying to do the best possible. Imagine right away you have 42 bosses asking you for things. It's a little bit tricky. Second year is a little bit more to start pushing new things, new projects. I would recommend you, when you have a collective project, find always the leader, the club that wants to be a leader, but not the big one, the small one, the humble, that they want to really grow, they want to do things, because they are going to allow you to show success. If he can do it, if this club can do it, why you're not going to do it? So we create this trend. We compare the clubs between themselves. They're really competitive. And from that, they start to collaborate more, to understand the KPIs we put, etc. And the evolution has been growing. This third year, at the end, is already a consultancy operation. We are in the daily basis with the clubs. Like, okay, open the books. We are going to go really deep, and we start to creating the strategic plans, to establish specific KPIs for them, and really growing. At the end, this evolution is really, really important. And year 4, it's the consolidation. It was yesterday, but at the end, we have been working really hard, and the growth is really massive. This is one example. Before the clubs, we're trying to create content, but in some language, in English, maybe one profile. It was not so good when you want to work internationally. But in one season, they create more than 22 new profiles in social media. So we started to speak more in Chinese, in Arabic, in other languages. And the most important is not the league doing it for you. It's like you take the decision, you want to grow, so you go to the market. And it's the first and the second division. We hear, we can listen, oh, we have limited resources, we can do it, it's so difficult. You always can do things. If you are in 0, you can go to 1. If you are in 1, you can go to 2. And you can use resources, support, and also work with other clubs to get better results. For example, we started to do with them collaborative projects between clubs, because they were first enemies, you compete on the pitch, but outside, you are colleagues. You are not competing between each other. You compete on the pitch, but not outside. So this is one example in the digital area. Other example, when you get a huge amount of funds, at the end, infrastructure is a really good destination to grow. We got a good infrastructure. I'm not going to say opposite in Spain, but there are many clubs that they had old stadiums from the World Cup in '82. They are starting to renovate stadiums, build new ones, academies for the grassroots. There are clubs in Spain without academies, that for us it's a little bit difficult to understand. And they started to bring more infrastructure and more opportunities to grow. For example, there are here two clubs. Not the biggest one. Villarreal is a club with success in the last year, but they got a really amazing new renovated stadium. And Getafe, I don't know if you have been, it's a town in the south of Madrid, and really old stadium with the track between the people and the pitch. This kind of project that it happens everywhere. So they started to renovate the stadium and also to invest the money in the club as a corporate. At the international level, also we started to work with the clubs in different levels. Say, okay, we have different steps to do. Depending on your maturity, we're going to start understanding the fund, where you're famous, where do you have funds, etc. Kind of pre-activation phase. And from that, an activation, that you have to be in the market. You have to be in the market, you have to do B2C activations, B2B activations, of course, transversal. You have to work commercial, but also you have to work digital, communications, and so on. To me, it was a surprise because I didn't start my career in sports, but when I arrived to LaLiga and started working with clubs and so on, a company or a club of, I don't know, 15, 20 people, they didn't speak each other. There were departments, and they were, no, I'm digital, I don't speak with international or with communication. And for us, it was really important to start these transversal talks because, hey, you're working in the same direction. We have to do, if you choose the strategic market, it has to be the same for communication and the same for digital. Because at the end, you want to develop yourself as a company. If not, if you don't do that, you're not even in the first step. You're in the 0-0, like you are doing, losing money on the street. And from that, the strategic support that we try to help the clubs with strategic planning, going to the market, and the final point, differential project, where we get the monetization from the markets, and we try to bring the clubs this return. And this is a point where we try to have a huge hyperactivity, that the clubs closer to the fans. We have many activations in all the markets, UK, China, Mexico, the adaptation of the languages, like I said. And to give you a data, 3 years ago, we were doing with clubs, 100 activations. Like we were working with them, but it was really difficult to get them to allocate funds, to work properly, to give assets, etc. Last season, we did together 1,200 activations with them in 3 years. When you see the metrics, it's okay. It's working at the end. At the beginning, it's really difficult to convince them to go to the market, to start working. Even they don't know how to establish KPIs. After this evolution, we try to get this strategic thinking, and okay, you are doing things to get in different verticals all the return you need. And one of the things that I'm really proud of the clubs is that they are traveling to markets. They are not staying in Spain. And sometimes when we are in our market, we think we are the most important company or we are the most important club. But when you are going abroad, you have to compete with many things. National team of the country, other clubs. You have clubs playing Champions League and you are not playing Champions League. So going to club and being closest to the fan, it's really important. And I would like to play a video. It's short, about a club that it's Real Betis. I don't know if you know the club. They have been doing an amazing project. It's called Betis Week, that they go to market 1 week to maximize the trip. They do many activations, many things, and they create this product to bring sponsor with them, to cap sponsor, to say to the market, hey, I'm here. So let's play the video. You will see, it's in Spanish with Arabic subtitles. Sorry for the language, but you will see what I'm trying to say. So at the end, our purpose was to keep, growing the competition. At league level, we are, I think, doing well. We need to push the clubs. First year is going to be really difficult if you bring a project with different stakeholders, different realities, and one day you are speaking with Atletico Madrid, and next day you are speaking with the new club in the second division that there are 3 or 4 guys. And sometimes we go to visit the clubs and they need to close the office because all the people is in the meeting. So imagine the difference. And here, just to finish, and we'll have time to make questions and doubts and etc. What we will try to do is to establish some KPIs, help them to work, but not saying you have to do this, you have to do that. We are going to do things together. We are a collective project. We were listening today many things about leagues, clubs, etc. The most important is the collective part. If you, as a league, you say, hey, do this, do that, they are going to get, But when you say, okay, we are going to do this, I'm going to help you with the funding, let's analyze your project, I will give you support with ideas, they start growing. And as a final data, we establish around 1,000 KPIs for the clubs in different verticals, adapted by clubs. And the majority of clubs are in the 70-60% of accomplishment each season. So they are working really hard, bringing the forward, to push the power of our football. That's what we want to do. I have been fast, I think, so we have time for questions and many. We can create a discussion if you want. Ashur, thank you very much, and ready for the questions.
Yes, thank you.
I was fast.
Thank you. Gracias. Gracias. It's been a great presentation, and we have quite a few questions to you. So let's start from the very first one: how to decrease the financial gap between Barcelona and Madrid and the other La Liga clubs.
Sure. At the end, what we are saying to the clubs, you have to grow in different verticals. For example, you have to analyze what you are doing. If you have your asset pyramid well developed, if you're creating content for the market you want to sell, if you are maximizing hospitality in your stadium. For example, here they were speaking about new stadiums, etc. Our clubs were only using the stadium for games. So you have a game, and you have a huge infrastructure there. So we say you have to do non-match day events. And they were starting for one event, two, and now there are clubs with a huge portfolio of events getting return. So at the end, what we did was to analyze what they were doing, give them recommendations to increase the portfolio of assets, and from that to get the return. And for one real example, we have a club playing European competitions. They were selling the VIP hospitality cheaper than a club in second division. And we say, sorry, my friend, this is not possible. You have to increase prices, you have to bring new assets, new spaces, and you're going to sell it. We gave them kind of prices, average. I think in this level, you're going to be, with the clubs that are at your level. They were really afraid because it happens. You don't want to raise prices. You don't want to, people talk really a lot in the social media. We saw our colleague from the basketball league, all the comments. They raise prices, they create new assets, and in 24 hours, they sold everything. At the end is to work. And it doesn't matter how big you are, I'm sure you can grow a little bit more. So this is the way we are pushing, helping them to grow, to reduce the gap. And for us, it's internationalization, digital, and hospitality are the three main pillars to grow in economic term.
Guys, you still have some time to ask a question via app. And another question, Jose, would be about, well, you talked about many activations, over 1,000 activations in the past years. How do you convince clubs to do those activations? And another part of this question would be some partners work with the league, but need also to work with the clubs. Are you helping your partners to integrate with the clubs?
Sure. To convince them is a long process. And to me, the most important is to be pragmatic, to start, with easy things. Because if you want to go to the moon, no, it's easy things, cheap one or for free. So you start building the relationship, the KPIs, and convince them that it works. It's really important to show them, to establish KPIs and what they are going to get back from that activation. And we try to connect in with the second part. Before it was taboo to work between clubs. We try to break that. Why not? Why are you not going to work with other clubs? Or you have a derby. Of course, in the city it's really, really tough. But if you are in Miami, who cares? You have people, that wants to watch that match. And we try to connect sponsors, all the stakeholders to maximize the activation. At the end is to add value to what to do. And when you are working with a sponsor and you provide them possibilities to activate at the international level, when you have the renovation, they are going to be willing to pay more because you can, offer data, activations, offline, online. So the long term is a win-win situation for all.
Okay, the question will be about the club that's based in, you tell me the city. Is it Girona or Gerona?
If you say Gerona, they're going to get mad because it's in Spanish. Girona is in Catalan. I don't know if you know or things with with this, but Girona.
How you, Girona?
Girona.
Let's go. So how do you see the club from Etihad Consortium as Girona in La Liga? Is it positive new wind for the league or it brings some problems?
It's a win because we were speaking before with some colleagues. When you got a humble club, I'd like to say small, humble, that they have been in second division, going to first, and they are getting success. It's perfect. We all want to, to see the humble person getting success instead of the biggest club. And the most important is we have an economic control, so they cannot inflate sponsorship, they cannot inflate salaries. It's really controlled. So if they want to make investment, it's according the level, and the price is going to be, soft. And to resume, it's a perfect new. They are playing Champions League. They play really well. We want more Gironas, and that's the purpose also of the project, to have this medium class really strong to compete. And let's hope Madrid and Barcelona are not winning the league this season. I don't have nothing against them, but we want another club, maybe a Villarreal or Betis or Real Sociedad. Who knows?
Good. Another question would be, how important are projects like La Liga Genuine for the PR and marketing activities of La Liga?
Incredible question. And I don't know if you know this project. It's for people with special needs. It's a league with all the clubs. They have to play with the same football t-shirts as the first team, use the club bus. They play in the facilities of the football clubs. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful projects we have in La Liga because it's real. When you have companies saying, no, we want to be social responsible, we want to do thing, and you start, looking a little bit deeper, this is real. When we want to say that we want to be a better company every day, this is a real case. And you can imagine how the feeling is for this person to play with the football shirt in the same bus that they use in the first team, going to the stadium, the families. And each year there is a huge amount of people that want to be volunteer. And if you didn't check La Liga Genuine, it's really impressive, and even they're now doing in other countries. We are traveling to other countries to replicate and to play like international friendlies, and it's amazing. So thank you for the question. It was really, for all the questions, but this one, it was really, really good.
Good. One more question. What's your opinion on playing La Liga or Cup games somewhere abroad in other countries?
Well, we already... The federation is doing the Super Cup in Saudi. League game is tricky because at the end you're bringing a game to another country, and the most important of the league is that you are playing at home between cities, and it's really this geographical competition. I think for us it's a really important step. We are trying to conquer new audience, new countries. People want to see, in person, the players, the experience. We are an entertainment company. We're trying to bring experience to the people. So let's see. Maybe it will happen soon. It's not easy, but La Liga has been working a lot in this, and let's see.
Let's switch to esports.
Okay.
How esports is integrated in La Liga, La Liga's everyday life, and does it have a future together with real football?
Of course. I think the most important fact is like EA Sports is our main sponsor. So you can play FC24. Now, I think yesterday was an event with Bellingham, Hendrik, globally in Madrid with the video game. We have a competition, Spanish level, also internationally with fans that you can play, and the winner is coming to Spain. Clubs are working more and more to engage with fans around video games. And I remember when we were kids, we were collecting, these stickers or these, we call it cromos. Now kids are playing video games. They play FC, they play all these kind of games. So they are really close. Brands are coming. You have a huge amount of exposure in video games. So I think it's part of the game. You cannot work without esports. And for us, it's really, really important. I play FC 24, so my wife can tell. And my way to rest is to play football in video games. So imagine.
Can you share your experience with a partner, Microsoft? Did you approach Microsoft, or did you were noticed by this kind of brand, and how it works general with massive brands? Are you go to those brands and you present yourself, or you just get noticed?
It depends. For example, when the league 10 years ago, we had to make an effort to bring brand to the competition, because you have to show that you are serious, that your competition, it's serious. There is no match fixing. There is no problem. That brands want to be there. And I think they spoke today about this. You have to be able to bring this return to them, what you are going to bring to them for the sponsorship. Before it was really easy, visibility, you get the LED, some media, that's all. Now they want more data, they want to activate, they want to bring the fans, closer to the brand, and they want to analyze the return. Like now you have a huge amount of tools to do it. With Microsoft, I think the relationship is like with every company. You are touching some verticals, some sectors. You speak with a lot of brands and started the sponsorship. But the next level was with the audiovisual images. If you watch a game, you will see a huge amount of data. I think this is really, really positive. We started a few years ago. Bundesliga is also working really well with all the data. And you can see a percentage of possibility of goal, how many attacks for this area, the heat map. So then this is a really good opportunity for them to show the technology, like, hey, Microsoft is there. And also with the new technologies, we have Microsoft integrated in our daily work. So we use Copilot, we use different tools that are really, really good. So it's a common collaboration where they get benefit from sports and we get benefit from technology. So to me, the most important is you are able to add value to them. And as the basketball, you can show in the daily basis the product and the solution that they are offering.
So that's a win-win situation in your case. Do you envision a situation where all La Liga clubs are worth the same and the competition is more equal? Is it achievable?
I think the gap will reduce, but all equal, it's impossible. I mean, even in the NBA, they are not equal, and they have this system, with the salary caps and so on. They don't have promotions, so you are in the league, it's in the money. There is always difference because you have different management, you make different decisions, you are in different cities, you have different arenas. The most important is to reduce the gap, that the winner is not that far away from the last team in the table. And one thing that I really always like to say, to us, our second division is the most competitive in the world. 3-4 seasons ago, it's happening each season. We have the two first are going up to the first division directly, and after that there is a playoff. So 4 teams play against each other in a break, and the winner goes to the first division. Rayo Vallecano, Elche, and other clubs got the last position in the playoff. They played the playoff, and they went to first division. And Rayo Vallecano in the first season in La Liga, they almost got a position to go to conference. So it means the level is really high with the same players. So this is the victory, that a club in second division is able to play in first division with the same level, and they are not going to be relegated right away in the odds. So to me, there is always being a gap because it's normal. But we need to show that the clubs that are coming from second division can go to Europe playing because they have the system already worked.
You had some changes in the league a few years back. So the media rights were changed from individual to collective. How this redistribution of media rights affected the work of the league?
Well, the process is really tricky because at the end of the league, all the clubs have to agree in the decision. So the negotiations are really hard. All the clubs want more money. At some point, you have to agree that the distribution is going to be in this way. There is a part that is equally distributed by sport merits, by the economic merits, how many people you put in the stadium, how many sponsors you have, etc. Decentralization allowed to help the smaller or the humble clubs to grow. Maxime said before, no, Real Madrid, Barcelona were selling the rights. They can, but a small club from a small village, they couldn't because they don't have the tools. So with decentralization, you're able to give to the clubs the opportunity to compete, to reduce this gap, to grow as a company. So for us, it's something mandatory that you have to do if you want to increase the level of the league. And it's always a topic of conversation, how you have to distribute it, etc. And the thing is, you have many countries that they have a really good league, but they are not professional, or they are not separate from the federation. They are inside the federation, or they don't have the centralized the distribution of the sale, the audiovisual rights. So it's tricky, but it's really important to help the other clubs to grow.
The audience has been really active this time, and if you
That's good. Yeah, we can go.
We can continue. Good. The compliment from Edmundas. It was a pleasure to listen to your presentation.
Thank you.
And the question would be NFL way of using socialism to get rich. It's now the leading sports league in the world by revenue because of it. Is a great example of using the TV rights, advertising money to help smaller teams. Do you think these principles could be applied in the two Spanish football leagues LaLiga is administrating?
Sure. NBA and NFL, they have a group of workers. In NBA, it's called Timbo. We are the same. We do the kind of the same things. And we got inspired by them. At the end, NBA or NFL, they are innovating all the time. The cameras in the dress rooms, how they manage everything. I think NFL is a little bit different because the calendar is shorter, the market is huge, but of course there is this CBC project is a way to get funding and put it directly to the clubs and control the investment to grow. And it's a really good way of projecting yourself. If we can compare ourselves with NFL or NBA, that's a dream. I mean, they are the biggest competitions in the world. So they are an example. We have our own way, but we are the good things we try to copy or to get inspired. And we communicate often with them, with NBA, with NFL, with Premier. We try all the time to learn from each other, and yeah, it's a perfect example of a really well-managed league.
A question about expansion. Does the league plan to expand to other markets than the Arabic, a bit more deeper? And is there some interesting markets you would like to expand?
Well, we have 11 offices in all the world, and we have 34 delegations in different markets. I think we have the world really covered. It's one of our main targets 8 years ago to start this international expansion. There are a few markets that for us are really important. United States, Mexico, for example, they are really important. Latin America is our natural market. But also in the Arabic world, you have now Saudi Arabia, but Morocco is really important for us and other things. So international expansion is key for us. We are pushing the clubs to do it. I'm between both divisions, between international and club office, helping them. So I have 42 bosses and 2 more in La Liga and the president. So we are all connected. And specific market, we have, I think, already touching all of them. to put the focus, honestly, North America now is one of the main markets for the World Cup. Mexico, United States work really well. Asia is always important, Middle East. So we don't like to push away any country. And for example, I'm here, and you will say, I listen many times. No, we are small. Each country matters for us. So yeah, for us it's mandatory to grow at international levels.
Nice. And the very last question, I would say, for tonight's your speech. What's the one thing you can learn as the league from the English Premier League?
I have to think this. No, they are really, really good at hospitality. They do really good match day experience. They have a really good infrastructure. You go to the games. They have different portfolios you can choose. You can go to different options in the stadium. You have a really good system. For example, like here with the automatic bar that you can get the beer. If you go to Tottenham Sports, the stadium is crazy. I think this is one thing they have been doing really well for the last years, and it's really, really good. Yeah, I will say that this hospitality, they have a really good commercial hospitality mentality, and we really love it. We went last year to Premier League to watch many clubs to try to get inspired.
Okay, great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening. It's been Jose Carlos Loaiza from Spain, from La Liga. Thank you for coming here to Vilnius, and thank you for being part of this big conference. It was special to see you here.
Thank you.